Hi guys, and welcome to Studio One with me, Gregor. So today is all about the different options we have for rendering and bouncing in Studio One, and we're gonna take a deep dive, look at every available command, and also discuss the underlying principles a little bit. There's 4 different kinds of render options in Studio One, and it's good to know which command belongs to which family so that when you're bouncing your audio, you get the expected result and you can take full advantage of the great flexibility that this gives you. There's the event-based renders that pretty much take nothing into account upon flattening except the event settings, like gain, for instance, or the event effects that might be applied. Then there's the track-based ones, which pretty much consider everything that you would also hear when you solo a track in your arrangement. Then there's channel-based renders. That's pretty much like a dry channel export without any bus routings or effects channels considered. And finally, the output, or as I like to call it, global renders that consider everything that goes to your master out. So now you have the fast-forward version. Let's look at the different commands that constitute the first group, the event-based renders. And event-based renders, like I said previously, would be only rendering in changes that are made directly to this one event. Anything that are changed on the channel, like putting down the volume, adjusting the EQ or something like that, nothing of this would be considered in an event-based render, okay? Only changes such as the gain handle being adjusted, or the fade in and out points being edited, the clip gain envelope being adjusted in real time. All these kind of changes would be flattened and printed with an event-based render. Another thing that would be considered in an event-based render are event effects, meaning effects that are only added to this one event, which is actually possible in Studio One. Not everybody's aware of that. So if I go to the browser and I take something like my room reverb here, and I drag that over to this event by holding down Option on the Mac or Alt on the Windows PC, I'm applying this room reverb in this example only to this one event, not the channel. I can easily demonstrate this by just adding a copy of this somewhere else. It's going to enable the grid snap here. And now I'm just going to add this to my second one instead of the first one. And now you're going to hear that the first clap is dry and the second one is wet. Okay, so those kind of changes, because they're only applied on the event, are also considered and bounced with event-based renders. So now that we have a better understanding of what event-based renders are, let's look at the commands that belong to this family in Studio One. The first one, that's probably also the most popular, would be bounce selection, which you're going to find by right-clicking the event and then going to event and bounce selection. You probably want to do this with a hotkey because it's way faster. In this case, it would be Command B on a Mac or Control and B on a Windows PC. Now, you're going to see something very interesting when I do this, that the event is actually going to be extended to the next bar boundary. And that is because we have grid snap enabled currently. If we don't want this behavior, we can just toggle this off, and now it's going to be bounced exactly in place, okay? And like I said before, this didn't take any of the channel settings into account now. I can easily demonstrate that this is true because if I just mute the clap here and I bounce again, then you can see nothing has changed because nothing has changed about the event. So it wasn't considered in the render. However, if I would adjust something like that and then I would bounce it, this is actually being considered. Likewise, if I'm applying my room reverb on the entire track, which would sound, excuse me, like this, and I bounce this and move it to a new track, it would actually be dry because these changes have not been applied to the event itself. But if I would go ahead and I would move this room reverb onto the event and then bounce it, and then I move it to the audio track, now that room reverb has been printed into the bounce as well. Let's look at the other ways you can do event-based renders in Studio One. There's also right-click, event, bounce to new track, which is the exact same thing we've just seen, except it's going to move it straight to a new audio track. There's export selection, that's also event-based right here. So this opens up a menu where you can export this file to. And you can also do the same thing through the Studio One browser with drag and drop. You just go to the Files tab, then you navigate to any directory that you want. In my case, desktop is fine. And then you just drag it and it's going to be exported right away. That's also event-based. Finally, we can also use event-based renders with instrument tracks. So right here, I have the Impact XT, and I have that very same hip-hop hit clap sample from the beginning loaded to one of the pads. So let me just double-click to add a new instrument part here, insert a note by holding down Command on Mac, Control on Windows PC. This is just a quick shortcut, very handy to have. And now I can just drag that to an audio track, and that's also going to trigger a bounce. And the MIDI note data is actually still imprinted here. So I could move that to an instrument track, and now that's going to be reconverted to MIDI. So that's really unique about Studio One, that you can go from audio to MIDI back and forth like that. Really, really cool. Moving on to the next group of renders in Studio One, and that's the track-based renders. They consider everything that's part of the track routing, including the bus and effects channels, but not the main out. So let's go ahead and listen to the clap first. I have the sample from before, but now also room reverb and analog delay applied. And I said that all of this would be considered except the main out. So if that's true, that means that I could just mute the main out like this, and I won't hear anything as a result. But when I use a track-based render, I will still get something out of this. And it will actually consider everything else about it. So let me just show you which command this is. This is actually just one command in the entire program, as far as I'm aware, that is a track-based render, and that is event mixdown selection. It's really, really cool because it also works with multiple tracks or multiple event selections at once, which I'm going to show you next. See, this is the mixdown that we got now, and we can already see the delay has clearly been printed. And we're going to listen to this in just a sec. The master has obviously not played any role here because it's muted, and I still got audio back. So let me just listen to what I got here, and it should sound exactly identical compared to the clap right here. Before I hit start, I'm just gonna deactivate all inserts with one single click. So this helps me verify if all of these insert settings are within this audio file imprinted. Indeed, it sounds exactly like what I had here on this single audio track. Perfect. So next, let's try that with the Impact XT. Once again, I'm gonna go right click and mixdown selection. I can actually do this now from my recent items. I would do it from a hotkey. And now we got the exact same thing for this instrument track. Once again, sounds absolutely identical. So it is indeed true that the send effects, the insert effects have been considered, but is it also true that the bus routing is being considered? And to double check this, I'm just gonna go ahead and mute the bus channel by putting the volume all the way down. And now let's just run this once again. I'm gonna right click, mixdown selection. And the reason we got something back here in the first place is because the effects channels, the room reverb and the analog delay, they are still going to the main out. It's just the bus that's muted. So this is effectively just the wet signal of the track now. So that's very, very cool also for creative applications. The final thing that I really love about mixdown selection is that it works, as I said, on multiple events at once. So let me just undo all of this, and let's look at these two claps, like the audio track and the instrument track. Gonna move the Impact XT one just 16th note up, so it sounds like this. Okay. Maybe let's do it without the analog delay this time. Just gonna mute it here. And now I can select both of them and do mixdown selection this time. Let me do it from a hotkey. And you can see both of these have been rendered into the same stereo file. Obviously also considering the effects and the bus settings, but not the main out. Now we're going to talk about the channel-based renders. Those channel-based renders consider both the event settings as well as the track channel settings, but not the routing, meaning that anything that happens on the bus stage or what you're sending to the effects channels is not going to be audible on a channel-based render. Channel-based renders are really great if you want to send out stems from your production to a mix engineer who specifically requested dry stems so that they don't have all this reverb and delay and the other stuff from the sound effects already imprinted. Or if you want to just render down a couple tracks while keeping the routing intact so that you save some CPU power. To easily demonstrate this, I have all the bus routings muted again, so that if these would be considered during the rendering process, we would effectively end up with no audio whatsoever. This just makes testing very, very easy. The commands belonging to the channel-based renders are transform, which is Studio One's way of freezing. And we find this if we, for example, click on our audio track here, transform to rendered audio. Now you can preserve the real-time state. This just means can you go back into an audio track with insert effects or not. But regardless which one you choose here, the insert effects are gonna be rendered either way. See, and even though the bus channel is muted, even though the main out is muted, I still got something back, and that is because the routing stays intact when you freeze. We really just want to free up some CPU power, but we don't want to start rerouting stuff. When transforming instrument tracks instead of audio tracks, it works pretty much the same way, but you get a couple more options because recall is a bit more sophisticated when dealing with virtual instruments. So you have an option to actually not render in the insert effects. So this would be like a channel-based render, not considering the inserts of the channel. The other way to do a channel-based render is here, song, export stems, and then sources channels instead of tracks. This just gives you the isolated sound of the individual mixer channels. Last but not least, to be honest, as I went through my presentation, I'm not sure why I didn't start with this, but bear with me. It's global renders. So that's really just what you hear on your main out. Everything exactly as you're hearing it is going to be printed. There's a couple of ways you can achieve this. One of them, you're probably familiar with it, is song and export mixdown. That's just a regular export mixdown menu. We can even upload directly to SoundCloud or PreSonus Sphere from here. Another way to use a global render, as I like to call it, is song and then export stems with the track menu. This is going to consider everything, the bus routing, the effects channels, and also what's going on with the main out. So this is a fantastic solution if you want to export backing tracks for a live show with all the stuff that makes the track sound the way it does. Also, the other export menus are pretty much all global based. So the add to project, add to show, all these kind of commands, these will also take the main out into account. And the same is true for export video, which is a cool function that you can use to replace the audio inside an existing video file. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your attention and see you next time.